It's 2024, you have $10,000. What do you do with it? Is it enough money to invest? And where do you put it? These were all questions I had when I discovered more than $10,000 sitting in an account that I completely forgot about. I learned that how one handles their money depends on a number of factors. Things like how much debt they have, and if they have a positive net worth or one that is negative. The answer to investing $10,000 may vary depending on who you ask and your current financial situation. When I started investing in 2018, I was at my second duty location in 4 years into my military career. I was at the point where I was unsure if I was going to re-enlist or not.
Hell no.
And between a car note and a loan I acquired during my move, I was a little more than $8,000 in debt. I was almost done paying on my car loan when I finally decided to opt into the Thrift Savings Plan, aka the TSP, to have something to show for my service other than my word and a used 2009 Chevy Impala with more than 100,000 miles on it to prove my service and that I made a sacrifice for my country. When I tapped into the TSP, I invested under the blended retirement system after switching from the old legacy system they had us under when I first joined the military. I also toured around on the Robinhood app, and I stuck with these two in the beginning, and about a year later in 2019, I opened up a Roth individual retirement account through Vanguard. I had no idea what I was doing.
What am I doing?
I only knew that if I made any early withdrawals, I would be penalized.
No penalty, no penalty.
In the TSP, I had some of my money going in as traditional contributions and some going in as Roth contributions. The difference between the two is that traditional contributions and earnings are taxed later upon withdrawal, and Roth contributions are taxed before they hit the account, so you don't pay any taxes on contributions or earnings when you go to withdraw your money.
Winning.
I had traditional and Roth shares of the G Fund, which is the government securities investment fund and is a less risky option than the others. I also had Roth shares of the C and the S Fund. The C Fund is the common stock index fund and tracks the performance of the S&P 500, while the S Fund is the small cap stock index fund and matches the performance of the Dow Jones US Completion Total Stock Market Index. Later, I played around with the other funds by allocating a certain percentage to the F Fund, which is the fixed income index investment fund, and the I Fund, which is the International Stock Index Investment Fund. I was completely diversified. While it is recommended that your investment portfolio be diversified, you can keep it simple with only 3 different types of index funds that will give you pretty good returns over a period of years. When I opened my Roth IRA with Vanguard, I initially used $3,000 to open the account.
So you got money?
And I let that money sit there for about a month in the Vanguard Federal Money Market Fund account. After that month, I started investing into funds I knew nothing about.
Stupid ass.
Until I slowly started looking into what I was doing by watching YouTube videos. So earlier, before my Vanguard account, I told you I played around on the Robinhood app. When I was on the Robinhood app, it was before I knew anything, so I kind of just bought whatever when I was on there. So I purchased shares of ExxonMobil, India Globalization Corporation, now IGC Pharma, Weatherford International, Apple, and the Knight Swift Transportation. Now, some of these stocks, I knew them from name, but I didn't know how to measure their performance, but they seemed like pretty good options at the time.
Look good to me.
When I bought the stocks, I knew to buy low and sell high, but I didn't know how to read the charts to make sure that these stocks were low. So when I purchased them, I bought them at a price and I sold them at a price that was above the price that I bought them for. Or at least I tried. Some stocks I broke even on, some stocks I lost money on. Now that you have some of my investment history and experience, let's talk about you giving me a like, sharing this video, and possibly hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can see more of my content when it drops. Now let's talk about the account that I forgot about during the 2-year period. Believe it or not, this account was the TSP. The reason I forgot about this account was because I could no longer invest into it without being a government employee. So I didn't really think about it once I got out of the military. So I actually stopped investing into the TSP in 2021 prior to me separating the military, and I just let the money I had in there sit there because I knew I wouldn't take it out, and I didn't know if I was going to get another government job or not. So fast forward to 2023, I find $11,574.05 just nesting. How did I get there?
How did you get there?
Under the BRS or blended retirement system, I received a company match. I think at the time they were maxing out at 5%. So this meant that if I invested 5% of my monthly income into the TSP, well then the government would match my 5%. And I'm almost certain, with the exception of the first year I started investing and the last year I invested, I maxed out and made adjustments as needed up until 2021. To give you an idea of how I invested and what my account looked like during that time period, let's look at the charts. Before we look at the charts, I forgot to mention I invested into one of the L funds, which is a life cycle fund, and it has a target retirement date on it, and it houses a diversified mix of all the investment vehicles in the TSP. The L fund is a great way to passively manage your investment portfolio, as it makes all of the necessary adjustments that align with your financial future. As promised, let's look at my charts for my TSP account, starting in 2018. So in 2018, I contributed $1,320.03. I was matched at $124.53. That put me at a total of $1,444.56. And my year-end balance was $1,088.71. Now remember, I didn't start investing until August or September of that time frame, and I don't think I maxed out. I know I didn't max out that year. Let's look at 2019. In 2019, I put in $1,374.20. I was matched by the government at $1,528.31. That put me at a total of $2,902.51. My year-end balance for that year was $4,471.40. So we're moving on up. Let's look at 2020. So 2020, that's when it really jumped. In 2020, I contributed $2,431.16. I was matched at $1,819.16. for a total of $4,250.32. My year-end balance was $10,187.18. And in 2021, I only contributed $223.10 with a match of $318.71 for a total of $541.81. And my year-end balance was $12,786.31. So with that in mind, like I told you, I had $11,000, $11,500, right? So that meant from 2021 to 2023, I actually lost money. And it would have been smarter if I had pulled my money out sooner. But like I said, I didn't know, and I pretty much kind of forgot about that account. So upon my separation, I really thought I would roll over into another federal position at some point. But since then, I haven't. And I don't know if I plan on it again. And I couldn't just have my money sitting in there doing nothing. So this is what I did next. After discovering more than $11,000 just sitting in an account, I rolled it over into my Roth IRA, and I purchased shares of VFIAX, which is Vanguard's 500 index fund. I also bought the Vanguard Total Bond Market Index, which is VBTLX, and shares of the Vanguard Total International Stock Index, VXUS. And I spent around $8,000 between these three funds. If you're wondering what happened to the other $3,574.05, well, I'm waiting on a specific stock to drop, and once that drops, I'll invest the remainder there. I may share that update in a future video. Now that you know how I chose to invest my money, I hope this video inspires you to invest yours however you wish. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all on the next one. Peace.